Hi, my name is Robert Dean Steele, and this is your daily Bible class. We're looking at the parables of Jesus, and today we're looking at the parable of Luke chapter 11, verses 5 to 8, a friend in need. Then he said to them, this is Jesus talking, suppose one of you has a friend, and he goes to him at midnight and says, friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread, because of a friend of mine on a journey has come to me, and I have nothing to give him to eat. Then the one inside says, don't bother me. The door is already locked, and my children are in bed, and I can't get up and give you anything. I tell you, though he will not get up and give him the bread because he is his friend, yet because of the man's boldness, he will get up and give him as much as he needs. Now, this is a wonderful parable. And the reason it's a wonderful parable, it has 2 illustrations or 2 lessons. The first lesson is this, friendship. Because of friendship, you will be willing to do things. You'll be able to go out of your way. The second thing, of course, is boldness. This friend needed to have food to take care of his friend. And so he says, I know what I'll do. I'll go talk to Joe, because I know Joe's my friend. And he knocks on the door, and Joe's, oh man, Charlie, what are you doing here? He says, listen, I got a friend who just came in late, and I've got nothing to eat. Do you have something that I can feed him? He says, listen, the kids are in bed. I am sleeping. But you know what? He keeps persisting. He says, listen, this friend, there's no 7-Eleven in those days. Nowadays we just go down the 7-Eleven, we go down to the Max, get what we need, right? That's why they call it convenience stores. Of course, also we know what happens when you go to a convenience store. You pay the price. But in those days, they didn't have Max. In those days, it was all about relationship, all about friends. And so he knocks on the door. And, Jesus says, what's going to happen is that friend is going to give him exactly what he wants because he's persistent and because he's bold. The illustration for God is this. Now, God is not like that friend who says, oh, come on now, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm not going to answer your prayer because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. God is available every time. But what we need to be is we need to be persistent and we need to be bold. James 4:2 says, you have not because you ask not. And you've got to keep asking. You got to be like Jacob when he was wrestling the angel. He put a headlock on the angel and said, I am not going to let you go until you bless me. You got to hold on to God and you're going to say, God, I am not going to let you go until you bless me. This is a wonderful illustration of asking. This is a wonderful illustration of prayer. This is a wonderful illustration of not giving up until you have the blessing. There are times in our lives where we don't have the breakthrough. There's obstacles and things in the way, and you just have to stay with it. You got to be bold and ask of God, because God will give you wonderfully, liberally. That's what it says. In fact, in Daniel 9:23 and Daniel 10:12, it says that even before the request is out of our mouth, the answer is already on the way. But the problem is there's going to be some delay sometime. Sometimes our answer is immediate. But sometimes it takes a time. And God is the God of the perfect timing. But what God is looking for from us is boldness and persistence. And this is what this wonderful parable is all about. So be bold. Be persistent. Keep after the thing until the blessing happens. Don't give up too soon. Because you know what? If you give up too soon, you might have missed the greatest blessing of all. Remember that today. My name is Robert Dean Steele. This is your daily Bible class. You have yourself a great and godly day.